And I rise today in strong support of H.R. 3697, the Criminal Alien Gang Member Removal Act. Transnational criminal gangs have declared war on the United States. Their tactics of intimidation and unspeakable mutilation and killing have permeated most every part of our country, including multiple instances in my own district. Most recently, in Bedford County, Virginia, a young man was killed by alien members of MS-13. The Department of Homeland Security reports an ever-growing number of criminal aliens joining international gangs, such as MS-13, which alone has over 10,000 members within our borders. Whether these criminals enter this country illegally as unaccompanied minors, adults, or have valid visas, or even green cards, it is time to send the message that this behavior will simply not be tolerated. Yet current immigration law includes no provision allowing for the removal of criminal gang members based on their membership in dangerous gangs or participation in gang activities. The result is unconscionable. ICE must sit on the sidelines and wait for known gang members to be arrested and convicted of specific offenses before removal proceedings may commence. Of course, with many victims and witnesses too petrified of retaliation against them and their families to cooperate with police, many gang members are never convicted of their crimes. This legislation provides a crucial tool so that ICE can seek to remove alien gang members before they are able to extort businesses and murder innocent Americans. In addition, this bill allows the Secretary of Homeland Security to designate organizations as criminal gangs, utilizing the same transparent procedures used by the Secretary of State to designate foreign terrorist organizations. Finally, the bill ensures that criminal alien gang members cannot receive asylum and be released back onto our streets, able to resume their criminal activities while being eligible for a vast array of federal benefits. Eradicating the death grip that transnational criminal alien gangs hold over many of our communities, especially immigrant communities, is an important piece of immigration reform. And I'm pleased that this bill, which stems from legislation that the House has approved in the past and which has been approved by the Judiciary Committee in multiple Congresses, is being considered today. Now, I want to address the allegation that this bill targets priests and nuns and Raj band members. It is preposterous. This bill deliberately includes the long-standing federal criminal offenses for alien smuggling as predicates for criminal gang activity. Coyotes and other criminal gangs make billions of dollars and put countless lives at risk through their alien smuggling activities. As former U.S. Attorney David Iglesias, who emigrated to the United States from Latin America as a child, stated, quote, "Smuggling aliens across our borders is a dangerous business. All too often, people entrust their lives to smugglers only to die in the broiling desert or suffocate in the back of locked, airless trucks while the smugglers profit. These smuggling rings, which facilitate illegal entry into the United States and mercilessly exploit human beings for money, are a danger to immigrants and a threat to our national security." The Democrats are engaging in a huge amount of obfuscation. In the past, House Democrats claimed the House passed legislation that would have strengthened federal alien smuggling laws, would have had the effect of putting priests and nuns at risk of prosecution. The Democrats' clear implication was that these problems didn't exist under then current law, which remains current law. Let me quote Democrat members of the House Judiciary Committee, including John Conyers, Jerry Nadler, Zoe Lofgren, and Sheila Jackson-Lee, stated that the bill then under consideration goes far beyond increasing penalties for alien smuggling and jeopardizes the well-being of millions of Americans, neighbors, family members, faith institutions, and others who live and work with undocumented immigrants. Former Speaker Pelosi and current minority leader stated, under the guise of an expansive definition of smuggling, the bill would make criminals out of Catholic priests and nuns, ministers, rabbis, and social service workers who provide assistance and acts of charity to those in need. The Democrats can't have it both ways. They can't argue one day that we can't change current law because that would result in putting priests and nuns at risk, and argue the next day that without any evidence, current law already puts them at risk. To add to the hypocrisy, the House Democrats supported an amendment which passed by voice vote.
The time of the gentleman has expired.
I yield the gentleman an additional 2 minutes.
Gentleman's recognized for an additional 2 minutes.
To add to the controversy here, the House Democrats supported an amendment which passed by voice vote to add human smuggling to the list of predicate acts under the federal money laundering statute. The Department of Justice and the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency simply do not target clergy and others who do not make distinctions based on immigration status when serving those in spiritual or material need. The use of such laws against religious organizations and other humanitarian groups has been practically non-existent. Of course, as in the sanctuary movement in the 1980s, when religious organizations engage in the actual smuggling of illegal aliens into the United States, they would be subject to prosecution just as anyone else would. But this bill is based upon the same precedent that has already been passed through this House by voice vote dealing with human smuggling. It's time to apply the same standard to alien gang members who are perpetrating violence not just on people traveling to the United States, as in the case of human smuggling, but on the citizens of virtually every state in the Union. The murders that have been outlined by Mr. King from New York, by Ms. Comstock from Virginia, by Mr. Labrador, Idaho, and others are taking place all across the country because we simply are not removing from this country as expeditiously as possible members of gangs like MS-13. It's time to get about doing that, and this bill does just that. I want to commend Representative Barbara Comstock, Representative Peter King, and the chairman of our Immigration and Border Security Subcommittee, Representative Raul Labrador, for their work on this important bill. And I urge my colleagues to support H.R. 3697.